good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, anyasị ọma, ụmụnne m ndị Igbo na yala ndị na-abụkwa ndị Igbo, ndị na-ele m n'ụwa gburugburu ebe ọbụla ụwa si wee bido, yala ebe ọbụla ụwa si wee kwụsị. Ọkwa nwaada Oriakụ Linomi with passion ka unu na-anụ olu ya n'oge awa. Unu abụọ na chi, eji m n'aka ahụ dị onye ọbụla. Maazị Amechi Paul, ụtụtụ ọma, ka ị mere? Ka eke si anyanwụ? Ama m na ọ na-anya na-atụgharị. How are you doing today? Adị m mma. Amechi, orukwe na mgbe ị ga-eji asụsụ anyị, asụsụ Igbo kpọmkwem wee na-ede ihe ọbụla ị na-ede. Na ihe eji ama nwata akwụkwọ na-eje akwụkwọ, mara na ọ na-amụta ihe a na-akụzi. Akụzie n'oyibo, ọ pụta, ọ na-asụpụ oyibo, ọ na-asụpụ sụpịrị sụpịrị. Ndị ya lia jere akwụkwọ mara na ọ na-amụta. Nne na nna zijekwana akwụkwọ mara na gịnị mere na nwa ha na-amụta. And good evening, Mr. Solomon. Ka esi asị Mr. n'asụsụ Igbo? Amechi, gị nwa bụ onye na-ede ede ka m na-ajụ. Ka Igbo si akpọ Mr. na Igbo? Ọ ga-echepụtara onwe gị ụkwụ ama. Ka Igbo si akpọ asị Mr. n'asụsụ Igbo? Ọ bụ na ịzaghị edekwara ihe ọzọ ebe a n'oyibo na ihe anyị na-amụ obi Igbo. You are welcome to today's class. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I started with messing around with Amechi Paul. Amechi, but I'm serious. You have to be writing Igbo. No more Igbo. So I don't want to waste much of our time. I hope everyone is doing very good. How is your weekend going so far? It is 12:03 p.m. in American time. I don't know what time it is where you stay. I know in Nigeria right now it will be past 6. So just to do little justice or enough justice to our power supply in Nigeria, I want to make sure that we'll get around here early. I don't want it to get too dark before we'll be off. We'll be done with class, okay? So I don't want to waste our time. Amos, you are welcome, my brother. I love you so much. Amos, all the way from Britain. I love you all. How is my daughter-in-law? I hope you all are doing very good. So I want to use this medium to welcome each and every one of you. And if you watch this video as a replay, please follow every instruction. Whatever that will be taught today, make sure you follow it, okay? Listen very attentively. Leave your own comments behind if you know that you'll be watching it later. So, our teacher, Onye nkuzi anyị, bụ Maazị Igburu Solomon. Achọrọ m inyefe ya ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ mantle until mana ihe a na-akpọ ya n'asụsụ Igbo. Nchọ inyefe ya ka o wee duru anyị na-eje na-egbu n'oge ọbụla. Onye na-amaghị ekwe omegịnị. Etu a m si agbalị, achọrọ m ka ụmụ Igbo ọbụla na-agbalị nke na-ịmaghị eju ajụjụ. If you don't know, you ask questions, because we have a lot of non-speaking Igbo brothers and sisters who comes every Saturday to learn this beautiful dialect. So you are welcome to Igbo. Igbo is beautiful. Igbo amaka. Without wasting our time, today we'll be talking about Igburu, Onye, Nwuru, Anwu, Gini, efi, ndị Anambra na-akpọ ya efi. Anyị nwa bụ ndị Igbo, ndị Imo, ndị obodo, ndị Igbo ndị ọzọ, anyị na-akpọ ya ehi. Gịnị kpatara eji egburu onye nwụrụ anwụ ehi? Omeniri na ndị nwụrụ anwụ na-eri ehi. Anyị amarọ ihe mbibere ji egburu ha ehi, mana anyị ga-achọpụta n'aka onye nkụzi anyị bụ onye ndu anyị, Mr. Eburaja Solomon. Maazị Eburaja Solomon, you are welcome to today's program. Without taking much of our time, I will give you the mantle. I don't want to speak. I will just stay mute until you permit me to speak again. So you are welcome to today's class. My handsome son.
You're welcome. Onye so ndewo ịgboro ihe Igbo na-eri. Ekele mmadụ niile, kelekwa ma onye ukwu ma onye nta, nke onye chiri ya ezere. A sị na nwa mmadụ emegbula nwa mmụọ, nwa mmụọ emegbula nwa mmadụ. Ebe bere ugobere, nke si be ya ebila, nkwụkwa ya. Osisi hụrụ anyị atụ nkwe, a sị m ka egbe eluigwe gbajikwe ya. Hụrụ anyị ebe akwa, a sị m anya mmiri akakwala ya n'anya. Ya wee bụrụ ka were bụrụ elu. Ndewo ụmụ Igbo abịakwa m ọzọ. I greet you all, my students all over the world. Good evening from here. Good morning and good afternoon over from where you are watching us live from. Today is Saturday, our normal class. Last week we discussed about a tradition that we practice here in England, and some artifacts were presented as instructional material to show you that which we say and to prove to you that that which we say and teach is real and true. So that is Igbo for you. Anything that has to do with Igbo traditional culture is real. It's not fake. It is not a fiction. It is a non-fiction. But then today we have a wonderful topic, which I believe some of you may know about it or may not know about it, and some of you may be wondering, why do Igbo people, see it as a kind of a priority, a kind of that if they don't do it, it brings one calamity or the other. And the topic is Igburu, Onye, Nuwru, Ehi, n'ala Igbo. Like in English we say, killing of cow for the dead person. Yeah, this has been a tradition that Igbo people, Igbo instruction has been practicing for a very long time. It didn't just start today. It has been there before the white man came. It has been there before the white man came. So nobody knows when it started, but it has been there. Now, some of you may be asking, like, you may see a family where maybe when somebody dies and the family will then gather together to discuss one or two things, and in that discussion, you may hear one of the elders amongst them there saying that this person must be respected by killing a cow for him or for her. And killing a cow has no exception. You can kill a cow for a woman, you can kill a cow for a man. It depends on the foundation people have already laid in the killing of the cow. And the another question will be this: why do Igbos kill cow for the dead person? This is also another thing that we need to understand. And another question will be, what of if we don't kill the cow? What would happen? These are the things we are going to teach today. And there are some things Christianity did not stop. And even some of them that call themselves Christian, they also, they respect this very tradition. Yes, they respect it to the core. So I'm surprised that even Christianity did not even, encroach in this very tradition, because this has nothing to do with a religion. It's our life. It's our practice. Like I always say that the tradition of a particular people is the identity of that particular tribe of people. So let us go ahead. Ehi or Efi We call it Ehi or Efi. Yes. Anambra people call it Efi. So whenever you are hearing about Efi or Ehi, it means bull or cow. Either bull or cow. This time around, in those days, it was bull. But because of the scarcity of bull, they had to improvise by using cow. Yes, they had to improvise by using cow. But normally it was bull. Like if you want to do anything traditionally, you must buy a bull. For instance, if you want to give a deity, Igbo, that is bull. And that is the one they eat. They don't eat cow. Yes. Like if you want to give God, if God is a great deity, if you want to give God bull for sacrifice. So all these things are into practice. So Ehi or Efi. In Igbo tradition, we respect the dead person, the dead people. We respect them to the extent that is why we bury our dead people around us. Igbo people, we don't have cemetery. We don't like burying our relatives, far from home, because we believe that there is a kind of bond between the living and the dead. Let me tell you something. In those days, there is a reason why when you see a mother, maybe after cooking osikapa, that is rice, he will dish out the food to the children and the husband or the entire family, and she will remain a little. She will just leave a little rice in the pot. Sometimes you don't even know what that thing means. It is tradition. It is our tradition. It is not just leaving a kind of a small rice there. Do you know why that thing is left there? That rice is left there because it is believed that the dead people in our language, according to Igbo tradition, that may come out in the middle of the night, looking for something to eat, can go there and dish out that one and eat. That one is for them. Yeah, that one you remain. You left in the pot. That little one is for them. But these days, it is no longer into practice. They have forgotten about those things. And that is why sometimes they will tell you that it doesn't matter, Christianity, this and that, And in those days, I don't know if, but down here they practice it. Like when my grandfather died, my grandmother had to prepare food in the night. My grandmother will prepare food. It is real. It happened. After dishing out the food, he bring out my grandfather's plate and put fufu and soup, drinking water and washing hand basin with the water inside, and keep it somewhere. Yes, and keep it somewhere in the kitchen. Do you know that in the middle of the night you hear the sound of where somebody is washing his or her hand, but you will not see anybody. You hear the sound where somebody opened a plate, but you will not find out anybody. That means the dead person has come out to eat it. But when you go there in the morning, you will see the food, but the person has already eaten it spiritually. So this is to tell you the kind of bond between the living and the dead. And it is still into practice. So that is why some people may be asking, why is it that Igbo people bury their dead people in their home, in their compound? It is because we believe that there is a kind of relationship between the dead and the living. So that is that. And that is why whenever an Igbo man dies, or an Igbo woman, or anybody dies, that person must be celebrated. We must do what we call Ikwaya Akwa. That is burial ceremony. Burial ceremony. And it is in this burial ceremony that you see where this thing will come into play. Igbo or Igbo, you see? And it is very, very important. And why do we kill Ehi? Is the first question I asked. Why do Igbo people kill Ehi anytime somebody dies? The reason for killing the Ehi is because it is believed that when you kill the Ehi, that is a cow, for the person will have a peaceful passage into the life beyond. Yeah. the person will have a peaceful passage, and the person will be respected in the kingdom of ancestors. Ya bụ a ga-akwanyere ugwu. Ya bụ ọmụta ga-enye ya ga-apụ iche. Ifugbo na onye na-egbughị ehi na onye gburu ehi ha they are not equal. So that is how it is also in the land of the dead. That is why we kill ehi for our dead people, for that person to have a peaceful passage in the other side, and for that person to be respected in the other side. That is why we kill ehi. But there is something very, very important here that I want to say. In a family where the grandfather, where they did not kill a cow for the grandfather, it means that the child of that man that his children could not afford to buy a cow to kill for him, maybe assume the person dies, the children will not kill a cow for that person. Let me state it very, very clearly. This is Obi, and Obi gave birth to Peter. Peter, I'm not talking about Peter Obi, please. I know why I'm saying this. Because the thing just sounded like Peter Obi of Anambra State. Yeah. So this man gave birth to Peter, and when Obi died, Peter and his siblings, this one is 4, they couldn't afford to kill a cow for their father Obi, and it happened that this person was buried without, killing a cow for him. Now, and this one now gave birth to children, and it happened that at his old age he also died. And maybe by providence, God blessed the children. Before they would kill a cow for Peter, they must first and foremost kill a cow for Obi. For them to do so would amount to a kind of serious calamity in the family. Because this person will be angry. Why would you kill a cow for my son? Whereas my son did not kill a cow for me. So that is the belief of Igbos. That is why you see some families, especially in Igbo land, somebody will die, and you see where the family are, running helter-skelter to look for money to buy a car. And let's assume maybe the cow the budgeted was wrong to kill one cow. Now it must be 1, 2, 3, 4. It must not be 4 cows. The reason for the 4 cows is you kill for Obi, the patriarch, then you kill for Peter. Then Peter's maternal home will also go with a cow because it is tradition. Since he killed a cow for Peter, his maternal home will request for a cow. Moo. That is good. And you give them the moo. Then you then buy the one you will use for the merriments. So that is why it is very, very important that if you know that Obi, that did not kill a cow for Obi, and maybe these children do not have the money to acquire or to buy 2 cows, it is better they buy 1 cow at the slaughter or abattoir. They will kill it there, they butcher it there, and come back home with the meat. But when they come back home with the cow, the live cow, it means that they will first and foremost kill a cow for this person before killing for this person. That is the Igbo tradition. That is the Igbo tradition. Then it is also applicable to women. Before, maybe it happened that this person died, and the wife maybe was still alive when they died, and by providence, God blessed the children, and they want to kill a cow for the mother. It is now 3. The first and foremost, kill for Obi, kill for Peter, before killing for the woman. one cow, making it 4. Now they will also buy the one they will use for merriment, making it 5. If they have the money to acquire or buy 6, they may go ahead and buy 6 or 7. So that is why burial in Igbo land costs much money. It costs a lot of money. We don't bury our dead like the Muslim. Once somebody dies, in the next 24 hours, the person is buried. Simple. Or like the whites. Once somebody dies and put the person in the mortuary, after some time, they bring out the person and go to the cemetery and bury the person, and that becomes the end of it. Or people may people who are related to the people or person they bereaved may go for condolence visit, but here it is not like that. That is why it is very, very important. Now there is another thing, because the tradition of villages or communities differs. It differs. There are some communities that do not kill cow, they only kill goats. Goats, like he goats. That is what they kill. And that is their tradition. Then there is this community whereby if this person, the Obi, Peter could not kill a cow for Obi, and it happened that this man here, maybe died, and the children now killed a cow for him. Peter will not eat the cow, the meat. Peter will not eat the meat because he could not kill a cow for the father, so he is qualified to eat the meat the children of this man killed. Because once he tests it, the penalty there is calamity. Sometimes it is death. Sometimes it is protracted, sickness, and it will affect the whole family. So that is why before anybody tests meat, and they hear that we are killing a cow for Obi, and you come over there to enjoy the meat as Omona, before you test the meat, before you partake, before you join them, you ask question. If you ask question to know, like, if I have not eaten for my father, am I qualified to eat this meat? So that gluttony will not take somebody to his early grave. So when you ask them that question, they will clarify you that you are not qualified even to be there. So it is better for the person to leave. That is the Igbo tradition for you. Because if that person stubbornly, takes the meat and enjoy the meat, the penalty there is protracted disease or sickness or death. So that is why it is very, very, very important to note all these things down, so that you know your own tradition, know ihana also, problem. That's why we are teaching all this. But some of our brethren in diaspora, especially those of them that we are born over there, they don't even know all these things. They don't even know all these things. And some of them may say it doesn't matter, it matters. And if maybe they claim to be Christian, and maybe this one is a Christian, and this one is a Christian, and they say no, that we are not going to kill a cow for our grandfather Obi, but we want to kill for our father Peter. And the elders advise them, please don't do that. It will amount to a kind of pardonment. It will amount to a kind of a spiritual punishment. Don't do it. And they stubbornly, back on that, doing it. Finally, they will get the results. The result causes a lot of calamities in the family. Sometimes you see people dying in that family because the spirit of this man will be angry, will be very, very angry. Why would they jump, sideline me and kill a cow for my son? Why can't they follow it due process? So that is why Igbo tradition is very, very, very unique and peculiar. So for those of them that say Christian, please, if you know you're a Christian and you want to avoid the problem, the calamity, it's better you don't give for Obi, don't give for Peter. Just slaughter the meat. If you want to slaughter 100 cow, maybe you don't want to do it, you're a Christian, slaughter the 100 cow in the abattoir or slaughter. Bring the meat. Enjoy the meat to Nahoma. Enjoy the meat to Nahoma so that you live long. But if you maybe want to prove that you can bring the cow, kill one, and then leave the rest. And see, one thing about this one is, if they want to kill a cow for this person, the first son of this man will bring a knife, and the cow will be brought down. Place the knife on the neck of the cow, and that person automatically has killed the cow for the grandfather and the father. Yes, I was saying. So that's, see, sometimes when we say all these things, it looks or it sounds nothing, but it's something. It sounds nothing, but it's something. And it's very, very, very important too. Even reverend fathers and pastors, they obey these ones. They obey it. So for them to be on the safe side, sometimes they would like to kill the cow there and bring the meat, because if they fail to do it that way and bring it, that means they are ready. Let them be ready to fight the battle, and it's not a kind of battle that you end just like that. So if you have any question, ask, then go on. Any question? If anybody has any question, Mr. Mexico. Yes, it's true, Mr. Mechi. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I even make the person to have a respect over here. Yes, now the person have respect. Get respect to Onye. You see, the respect you give, they will give to somebody ewu. Na respect I get onye efi na ala. It's not the same. According to Igbo belief, it's not the same. Maka efi na ewu are not equal. Even the size and the price and the gap. So let's assume then Wednesday, maybe somebody from my community or my lineage, I pass them. Oh yes. Yeah. So if you have any question, yeah. Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. My question is like a comment. You said, for instance, maybe you pass away and your children kills cow for you, and maybe my own children didn't kill cow for me. That you are higher than me in the spirit realm. My question is, did you eat part of the meat, or is it the mourners who eat the meat?
It is the mourners that will enjoy the meat, but because they kill that meat in my name, it gives me another level over there. That is the Igbo belief. Our belief is different from Christian belief. Yeah. Our own belief for the dead is different from the one they wrote in the Bible. Somehow similar, but it's different. Yes.
Is it
very, very different?
I was just watching you closely. When you are saying in your name, you are Bugai, like in my name. I bet she is asking you a question. I'm not ready to fight today. Just ask Abechi's question.
What about the chief? Yes. Yes, so Mr. Mechi, even chief is supposed to be buried with a cow. Yes, no. It's not easy to be a chief. It's compulsory to use a cow to bury a chief. It's compulsory. You know all this new generation chief. This new generation chief. I don't believe in new generation chief. I believe in also and this. That is the original thing we have. But this new modernized chief, the one they buy with money. So if they buy it with money, they will say, you know, so that is it. So you must kill a cow for the chief. Did I answer the question?
Okay.
Any other question? I want question. Mr. Lechi, I don't know if your father is still alive. If your father is still alive, I don't care. Igburu. But if maybe the father of your father, they did not kill a cow for him, you better kill a cow for your father, your grandfather, before he wouldn't like it. It's very, very important to what the operate. Then if your father is sincere or also, that means to kill that place will be cow. At least you need to kill up to 5 or 6 or 10, you know? Yeah, because it's not easy. Yeah, to whom much is given, much is expected. That is the Igbo tradition, because the person is the chief. Yeah, so to whom much is given, much is expected. So when you are putting on the red cap on the head, it means that when the person goes down, like in his old age, people will eat cow very, very well. Somebody like me, if I come over there, at least I'm sure of the neck, the cow neck. I will go home with the cow neck because that place will be cow. So you check it. So that is the Igbo tradition for you. Then I want to say this. Our tradition, like there's some part in Mbano, they keep only goats. It is good that they kill. They kill goats. Imago, omenala Igbo niile bụ ofu, mana ha na-asụkwa n'olu n'olu. You know? What I'm saying is this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Onye nkuzi, gịnị bụ ịzọwa ọkwa?
Ịzọwa ọkwa. Ịzọwa ọkwa. Ọwụ ịkpa.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I heard it. There is some family, they said they don't kill cow. If I understand what they say very well.
Maybe I need to find out about that. I will find out about that one. Okay. That's what I say, because there are some people that they don't kill cow, but they kill goats. You know, every Igbo community have their own peculiar tradition that they practice. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Amechi Paul. Igbo, if you go, that is you're a Christian. You're a child of God. Yeah. You watch, yes. Because you're a child of God. Yeah. See? Please, I want to ask about Obi. Some kill like 7 cows. Yeah. Obi, you mean Igbo, call it palace. Yeah, Obi or Obu. The Anambra people call it Obu. Then some part of Imo or Igbo land call it Obi. Yeah, you know, Mr. Mechi, Igbo, I'm still watching Chineke. You're a child of God. Because you understand where we are going, you know, where we are driving at. Only we are not talking about, we are Christians, so yeah. And we believe in the Supreme God and His Son, Jesus Christ. That's the only one I believe. And every other thing that is against our tradition, that person is going against our tradition. That is by the way. Now, the Obi, Anawake Obi Awake, Some people may kill a goat for the obi, you know. Some people prefer cow. It depends on how buoyant you are. It is not necessary that you must kill a cow, but it depends on how buoyant you are. So, but obi, so long you are building obi, unless you are a titled man, that means it must be demanded. But for you to build obi, it means that your ancestors have troubled you to build obi for them. No, we don't understand what obi is all about. We are going to teach that another time about obi, the spiritual that people don't understand. So that sometimes if you mention about obi, people will teach that in obi. It's very important in Igbo tradition. So we must kill a goat. It's a must. You must kill something that has over. But if it is ordinary obi, like the one you want to beat for yourself, you kill a goat. In Igburu, people will then come and they eat and they rejoice. Then if it is the king's palace, that one, there are some things that are done there secretly that sometimes I may not like to mention it. Sometimes they use human being to lay the foundation, but you will not know. Yes, because that place is very strong. Sometimes they will use a cow to lay the foundation. So it depends on the nature of the obi determines the kind of thing that will be used to lay the foundation of the obi. You see, obi is powerful, is spiritual. So that will be another topic for another day, Mr. Amechi, because the obi teaching is very listening. What is the significance of the goat killing? It is the same peaceful passage. Like some part of Anambra, they kill Efi. What Anambra people kill is Efi, that is cow. Some people kill goats in some part of Imo State. So it is the same, peaceful passage of the dead for that person to have his honor in the land of the dead. That is why we kill Efi. That is why we kill Efi, the goat and the cow. It's very important to yeah.
Won't the killing of cow and goat be like the buying of a car and a bicycle or bicycle tire to the dead?
You see, I said something. I want to say this. Yes, now, let me say this thing. Each family, according to Igbo belief, each family has their own family in the land of the dead. Yeah. And whenever any man dies, no, Mr. Mechi, that was in those days. I understand what you're talking about. Yeah, white killing cow for obi and the human being head. It depends on the kind of the obi. Like in those days they use human being to bury human being. That was in those days. Even now, it is still into practice, but you don't mention it anyhow because of law in the Ocha. Because when if government hears that you use a human being or human head to bury a dead person, it will cause a kind of problem in that community. So sometimes that is why when a royalty, that means a king, original king, not this political king, not this political appointees. We're not talking about political appointees. We're talking about the original king. When they die, you see, not everybody go to see the corpse. And sometimes if the family goes and come out, then the elders, and the others, they will enter inside and do the needful and bury the king. So you don't know what happens there. What happens in there is what you don't, is a mystery to everybody. So even till tomorrow they still do it, but you don't know. They never tell you because it's a secret. Yeah, it's a secret. And that is why there are some communities where if a king dies, there will be trouble in that community. They will not allow children to go out. And sometimes the community may not use the people, the indigenous of that community, they use a stranger to bury the king. You know, that kind of, especially if that king is 90 and 100 and yeah, you see, they will use human being to bury the king. If you know why we do that, the reason for that is so that that person that was buried with the king will also be serving the king in the land of the dead. Yes, yeah, because the king need to have keep on serving the king, that man in the land of the dead. If the king is feeling hot, one of your fan, no, we follow the king. The king needs this one. That is the belief, and that it is barbaric. It's barbaric. Yeah. So that is it.
Yeah. So going back to my question.
It is not like buying a bicycle for the person or whatever, or Boris or whatever. But it's because no, it is to give that person, for that person to rest in peace.
Does
yes,
it mean that,
and to have honor.
Does it mean that the people who were not opportune to get such services of killing goats and or cow for, they are not resting in peace? Network, please respect yourself. I need to ask my question. You are back, okay? Welcome back.
Yeah. Yeah. So you asked a question. I have it. Yeah, they will still have the peace, but you see, they will be feeling jealous too. See, I'm trying to because according to our belief, they live their normal life as we're living our normal life here. The next thing is that they are operating in the spirits. You see, because when they gather in the council of elders over there, and this person, the children couldn't, afford a car to bury him. He will not sit in the midst of the people that their children were able to buy a cow and keep for them. There is hierarchy. And then you got levels, and we got levels. And we got levels. Yes. Yes. And we levels that side. See, I want you all to believe that. Okay, go ahead.
I have a question, yes. See, so why is it that when someone dies, we, the living, will be worried about the burial ceremony? That is the equals. And some people, okay, I was discussing with someone, the mother died, and I know he's not buoyant enough, for the funeral. And I suggested if they should just wait whenever, I don't have a specific time to that. I say, whenever he's buoyant, then he can do the funeral rites. But someone now was like, no. Ogabo ozuochie. Like it will be old. I want us to talk about this. I have heard a lot of things. Yeah, he said no. Ogabo ozuochie. I was like, what is ozuochie and ozuofo? Death is death. Right.
I want to correct an impression there. Ozochie, quite sure, is a kind of somebody who died and was buried but without funeral rites. And maybe the person was or has been buried for more than 10 years. The person was Ozochie. Or maybe
No.
maybe 5 years.
No, the woman was not buried more than 10 years. She died, and they said Etiana free Jana, right? Na free Jana. But it was within months that I was suggesting this. But they were like, no, Ogabozoche. So
I see. Okay, church, they are Christians. I want to teach them something. I want to teach them something. The reason why the Igbos, see burial or funeral rite as a kind of a big day is because human being has two celebration periods in their lives. One, the day he was born or she was born. She was brought here or he was brought here on earth. Two, the day he will depart from the earth. So if the person was celebrated when he was given birth to, the person also needs to be celebrated when he will depart, in his departure. That was an send off. Now, there's a question I asked somebody one day, that is there any difference between putting someone in the mortuary for 1 year and burying the person, keeping the person or burying the person, then getting yourself prepared to do the funeral rite? Is there any difference? And the person was looking at me. I asked him that question and I answered that question for him. And the question becomes, no, there is no difference. The person you put in the mortuary and they leave the person to be there for 6 months, and the person you buried, and maybe because you are not going to that period to do the funeral rites, they are all the same thing. Are you getting it? Because you preserved this one, you also preserved this one. Now, because of a kind of church doctrine and the kind of call it all these new generation churches and the inversion of Onye in Igbo land, now they see it as a kind of idol worship. That is the kind of idol worship that it is ungodly. Ungodly in the sense that if you bury the person, you don't need to do the funeral rites again. It is a lie. If you fail to do the funeral rites, they keep on hovering. The person will never have peace. Funeral rites. It is spiritual. You see, when you give somebody his funeral rites, one stays there, you have led us into rest. The spirit of that person will not depart in peace. But if that person is not, giving the funeral rites, the spirit of that person will be covered. Spiritual problem. They have a serious problem. And they have been calling some men of God to do family deliverance in the family, in the compound. So, luckily for him, he called one man of God for the family deliverance. Now, But it happened that before that family deliverance, this young man that is calling different men of God to come and deliver the family from the hand of the wicked. When the father died, because they were to them, the family could not afford to do the funeral rites for the father, and they forgot the man. When I'm doing the funeral rites, and the spirit of this man could not rest, was disturbing the family because he has not rest. So when the pastor came, and then the room they gave him to sleep, at least to rest before the prayer, commence.
Sorry, my beautiful people. The network is really bad. We could hardly hear the teacher. I will go ahead and bring him back, but if the network persists to be bad, maybe we'll call the class off. We have been doing very good, so I don't want network to interrupt. Mr. Buraja, if the network is interrupted, we can stop the class now.
All right, we'll stop for now because of the network issue. Actually, here is a rainy season. But I want to advise people, please. Yeah, network is not too good. So advise people, please, if you know that there is somebody in your family that the person has not been given his or her funeral rights, please let the family endeavor to do so. Yeah, so that person will have peace. That side is very important, please. And for the Igbo, if you know that did not take care of your father,
I'm trying to see if I can bring him back better, but it's not happening. I'll try one more time, okay? Because he's about rounding up for the class. Okay, you are
all
back.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, the network, but we'll stop here so that the network will not destroy the free flow of the lesson today. By next week, by God's grace, we'll have another important topic, and the topic will be which is palace. Yeah, and why it is important in Igbo. Now, we need to know all these things. So, sorry, the network, it's not even yet time for us to call it a day, but because of the network, and and I need to allow people to rest a little. Thank you so much for being part of today's lesson. And for those of you, if you know that you've not killed a cow for your father, I will become Onye in a family actually go and buy cow for your father. It's very, very important. Respect that side. Levels, levels. So it's very, very important. Oh yeah, the thing. So, so thank you so much, and thank you for being part of today's lesson. If you have any question, you can drop it there. See you tomorrow in our discussion tomorrow. Thank you so much, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you so much, Mazi Igburu Solomon. Thank you for that good one. Thank you for always enlightening us, enlightening our children. We can't say thank you enough. Thank you so much. At least today, I have learned about Igbo and the right of Igbo, the right, the seniority of Igbo. Thank you so much. I will let you go. Everybody is saying thank you to you. You are the best teacher in the whole world, still the best. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you soon. Let me let you go. Okay. Bye for now. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, my beautiful people. Yeah, the network wanted to spoil everything that we started very smoothly, but I don't want to allow that. It was a beautiful class. Thank you for always coming around. Thank you for always standing by me, especially. Thank you for coming. I know today we are on the new channel. Please help me tell people about this channel. Share it with your friends and relatives. Ingrid Sakara, my son, welcome. Welcome so much, but you are late. Class Abasana. Yeah, class Abasana. All right. So tomorrow, Mr. Ibraja will be our guest. Tomorrow he'll be talking on belief and worship. Tomorrow, please, I want you to join us tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Tell friends, share this particular channel to your friends and relatives. Lean on Me with Passions TV, and also share Christiana Passion. Thank you so much for everything you are doing. God bless you. Remember, you are unstoppable, and your voices will always be heard. If you see anything wrong, and you want to say that something is wrong, please feel free to say that. And to all my brothers and sisters all over the world, if you are from Nigeria, I am begging you, please mind your environment while walking around in Nigeria, driving around in Nigeria, going about your daily businesses in Nigeria, okay? Just for security reason. And if you have not gotten your PVC, please, I'll be saying this every now and then on this channel until the election. Please, if you have not gotten your PVC, is your right. Go ahead and get it. On the day of the vote, go and vote your conscience. All right. So it won't be like when things didn't go the way you want it to go in future. You're like, this government, this government, this government. Why you did not do your own part? You did not do your own part as a citizen. Please, if you are of the age for voting, make sure you get your PVC and vote your conscience. It is you and me that will change our country. That is for our Nigerian brothers and sisters, okay? I know that some people travels from wherever they live to go and vote. If you are in that class, please get your PVC. It's very important. Your voice is your future. Okay, so thank you for always joining me, whether you are early or late. I love you so much. Remember, I love you all yesterday. I love you all today. Please, to as many as that joined the class that I couldn't say welcome to you, you are welcome. I see you. True, I see you. But in the middle of the class, I couldn't start mentioning names. Please, I see you and I love you. I'm not taking your coming here every weekend for granted. Join me tomorrow. Let's talk about belief. Let's talk about worship. Okay? Thank you so much. Is your sister again. Lean on Me with Passion TV or Christiana Passion. Call me whatever you want to call me, your sister, your friend, anything, and that is what I'll be to you. I love you all yesterday. I love you today. And I will.